not gonna bring that up.
What's up? What's up? Welcome back to another episode of Shit Talk Saturday. It's Sunday though, because life's been lifing. Like our schedules have not allowed us to put out content. So yeah, we're here. How y'all feeling?
Go ahead. You can go ahead and go first. Go, Chae. You can go ahead and go first.
I feel a mixed bag of things. I'm recovering from I just had to shut everything down for a second and not do anything and respond to anybody really for like a week so I could get my mental health in order because we just got a puppy like a month ago. So my routines and schedules and things that keep me sane have been off track. And I had a meltdown last week, so had to get myself together. But so I'm coming out of that. I had like all you can eat dim sum today.
Ooh.
That was a good experience. And my car insurance is trying to fuck me. So it's a mixed bag. It's a mixed bag. It's a mixed bag of things. But I think overall right now, I think I'm good. It feels good to be here with you guys. I will say that.
That's what's up. I'm glad you're here to join us. This is your first Shit Talk weekend.
Yes. And I enjoy shit talking. So I'm happy to be here. What are you eating, bro?
I know, right? Because I was about to ask him how his week's going. I don't think he can. It's it's falling from your face.
Green beans, dirty rice, barbecue chicken, Sunday dinner. But my week has been. I mean, it's been decent. Things have been hectic everywhere, work wise. Covering for people, just different hours throughout the week, and just trying to not choke people. So
it's important.
It is important, for sure.
Some would say that.
Some would say it's important. Others, not so much.
It keeps you out of jail, I think.
Exactly. Yeah. Rich always got dinner. This is dinner time for Rich. Oh, that's cute.
Absolutely.
It's like off to the side. But yeah.
it's like out the way.
This is like the first comment I put up. It's nice. I like it.
Oh wow. That's different. Did we update or something?
StreamYard clearly updated, but that's neither here nor there.
Whole time I be having a thing on private chat. So when like you comment vocally to the comments, I'm like, who the hell is she talking to?
Where is this coming from? There's nothing going on here.
Nobody's saying anything.
How your week?
That's hilarious.
How your week been, Britt?
My week's been alright. Like, Jamal had an interview this week, which went really well. So we're hoping to
shout out to him.
Get some good news from that. Snuggles was placed in pre-K. Yeah, he was placed in a classroom. So we're getting him ready for school. I'm ready.
Snuggle buggle.
Yeah. And so Jamal gave me the go ahead to start planning a wedding for our 5th anniversary because we, courthouse weddinged it. So I started planning that. I'm getting excited. It's like 2 years away, a year and a half or some change, September of 2024. But I am ready to start looking at dresses. I'm like already like reaching out to my bridesmaids. Chae's one of them.
Yep. Hey, I'm gonna wear a dress.
I get to wear my knight in armor.
No, I'm not. No, don't expect that from me.
Not a dress. So yeah,
you can imagine me in one.
I will imagine your fitted suit as a dress. Okay. My sister.
I'm coming in full body armor. Got my sword and everything ready to go.
Yeah. So I mean, overall, it's been a mixed bag kind of week, but more highs than lows. I've actually just not allowed myself to. The wedding planning has allowed me to just not. I've avoided lows. I'm like just actively like, yeah, I'm just not gonna do that.
It's a good week.
We're gonna keep it.
I don't got time.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. But speaking of good week, I'm gonna start everything out with a congratulations to Shamar Moore. He just had his first child with his girlfriend, but his first child, period. Baby girl, Frankie Moore.
What the fuck is that?
Shamar Moore.
First of all, Shamar Moore, I was about
Shamar Moore
to
had
boo.
the 90s and the early 2000s.
I was about to boo like you've been booing on everybody else's babies because Shamar Moore was on my baby daddy list once upon a time, along with
I know he's not hot no more. I heard that. I heard that, and I also heard that he does not like the black women. That's what I heard. That's what I heard.
I mean,
not that I care. I don't care.
But this is who y'all love.
He is not with a black woman.
No, he was just fine. He was just fine.
Fine as hell.
Yeah. I mean, I ain't got none of that. I ain't planning to date him.
AF.
Don't change my family dynamic. Not A1, bitch.
But yeah, so congratulations to him and his girlfriend. And then rest in peace to co-founder of Sesame Street. He passed this week. This morning.
I had no idea.
Yeah. This morning, Ricky Smiley's son passed away. So, man. It's always tough to...
I seen some news about Tina Turner. I don't know if it's true or not.
What about Tina Turner?
I seen news about Tina Turner passing away. I don't know if that's true or not.
I feel like
maybe it was a hoax.
Niggas need to stop playing. I'm about to turn the computer off.
Right. I'm like, I'm over here with the quick fingers. I feel like that's
maybe it was a hoax.
I
did see it. I seen a post. My wife was waiting on it to show up on the Shade Room because obviously until it shows up on the Shade Room, it ain't true.
It ain't legit.
Look, I just googled Tina Turner and like the last article that came up was from last year, so I'm gonna go with it's not true because it would be like plastered. So that's fake news.
I feel like that's a story I feel like
I'll edit it out.
Hush it, that's a story that you cannot hush. Like he did.
Exactly. Absolutely.
That's fine. We can definitely. Well, I'm glad that that's fake news. I didn't want Tina Turner to be gone. I didn't want 2023 to start off like that. Yeah.
No, that's a mess. That's a mess. But speaking of 2023 starting out, we gonna talk about the heavy shit and then move on to some lighter shit. So Tyree Nichols has been in the news all week. He is 29-year-old from Memphis who was stopped by the police. It was 5 black officers and was beaten to death. He was beaten and then died 3 days later in the hospital because of his injuries. I haven't brought myself. I can't bring myself to watch the video. I've watched like snippets and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm good.
Does it give like worse than Shaquilla Robinson vibes? Like you just watching something that's
grown men, 5 big ass girls. Like none of them were like small men.
What were his injuries? Like I said, I haven't been on social media, nothing. I've been
his injuries. I really just watched an interview with like his parents, his mother. But she said, first of all, the cops came to her door to tell her that her son had been arrested. Which, when the fuck did the cops start doing that? That doesn't happen. The person goes missing and you start calling like, hey, you trying to in jail? Like, where you at? But the cops came to her door to say that he's been arrested and that he was being hospitalized because he was tased and pepper sprayed. That is what they told her. And that he was being hospitalized for that.
That's crazy. That death,
Yeah. And then she asked where he was being kept and they didn't tell her, refused to tell her what hospital he was in and basically told her that she can't go see him. And so then the hospital contacted her later in the evening to say, did you know your son was in the hospital? Why aren't you here? And she was like, the authorities told me not to. So basically it seemed as if they were kind of fishing for a reason. They were saying he was drunk and she was like, my son doesn't drink like that. And well, is he on any drugs? Because he had superhuman strength. Like, no, my nigga, that's adrenaline. Like, that's not being on drugs, but they were kind of fishing for something.
I want to know what superhuman strength they seen because the man, I watched snippets of it. He was pinned to the ground the entire time.
He was in
cuffs. I don't know what superhuman strength they was looking at. And
I mean, it's the superhuman strength is what they go to when they want to cover it up, though. That's just it. It don't matter what actually happens. Everybody has superhuman strength.
I don't know in what universe it takes 5 grown men to do something. In what world does it take 5 grown men to handle anything, especially somebody that's handcuffed? 2, 3 at the most. If 3 grown men who are supposed to be cops can't handle one person,
then they weren't supposed to go to jail that day. Like that's
I think you should find another profession. Yeah, like you should probably find another profession, bro. Like
so
shit. And I'm talking about a guy that's not armed. Obviously, a guy that's armed is different, but a guy that's not armed,
which he wasn't,
handcuffed already, which means 5 of y'all couldn't beat a guy with 2 hands tied behind his back, literally.
Right. So to speak to the injuries, when his mother went to that hospital, she said that his head was swollen like a watermelon, essentially like Emmett Till levels of. She said the moment she saw him, she knew that he would either, if he survived, he'd be a vegetable, or he's not going to make it. He just was not recognizable. She said his nose was like S-shaped. Like, I mean, they were grown men beating him.
I'm just picturing, my facial expression was from your nose being S-shaped.
Yeah. So all 5 cops were immediately arrested and charged, and they are currently out on bond. But I think, and one of the things I've been seeing online is why aren't we protesting? Why aren't we protesting? Because there's nothing to protest. Like, justice was
well, I guess the bond is what a lot of people disagree with.
Yeah, people are upset about the bond for sure. And I can't speak to that. I can't speak to why they got a bond versus why they. But at the end of the day, shit is wild, and they have the audacity to call for peace.
Yeah. The bond, I guess, because of certain, like when you're a police officer, you get certain. I don't want to say rights, but certain privileges. Where it was 350,000.
I knew all 5 350.
I think it was about 350,000.
350 for all 5 of them.
No, I think it was each.
Like each. No, I'm saying each. Yeah. That's the number for each of them to be bonded.
Yeah. I mean, that's 350,000. You go to a Bell's.
I mean, it is. It is.
You go to a Bell's bondsman, and you only paying what 10% of that.
I mean, but that's what I think Brittany's saying, and what if you. I have been in true. If anybody follows true crime, then that's a typical bond. That's a typical bond for. I'm gonna even say the type of crime, like emotions removed from it. That is a typical bond number. That is kind of like, on a normal to high level. Emotion. Now we can be mad and say that they didn't deserve bond because this was a blatant da 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 da. And here's the problem that most people have with the judicial system is that there are fucking protocols that probably should be undermined in situations where you can see that something like this is blatantly like blatant.
Yeah. And police officers are part of that.
She said, but since they're Black, they'll more than likely get charged, which honestly, they are going to get charged and they deserve to get charged. But this should be the standard. It shouldn't be because they're Black, they're getting charged. It should be every single time an officer abuses their power in general, but specifically kills somebody, they should be charged. Like this should be due process immediately every time. Go ahead.
And like I said, I had said this off screen before we started when we was talking about it, but I think that it's a little conspiratorial to say, yes, it is true that because they're Black, they will be getting charged. And also like following after we had such a big uptick in Black Lives Matter and this and that over the last 3 years, I can't imagine that something so public that the police departments, the governments are not going to be like, nah, get on that. Now, it don't matter who did what, take care of that, because we can't have what just happened or worse, because I imagine if it was a situation like a George Floyd situation,
you know why?
It would be 10 times worse. I think it would be 10 times worse with this situation.
You know why? Because we haven't done something as crazy as Rodney King since. That's a fact. If we did what they did in LA when Rodney King was beat, police, I guarantee you, in this modern day, all police chiefs will be like, hey, look, nope, we need to change this policy, change that, change this, change that. Nope, hey, don't do that, because if you do that, you're fired, you're gone. Like, we're not dealing with that. I mean, to the point to where the number of people completely overwhelms how many police officers you have. You have they can all be out there with riot gear, it don't matter. There's 400,000 of us. There's only 10,000 of you. You're not stopping us.
Mm-hmm. And
when we refuse to get to that level again, but it's only at that level did they understand we meant business.
And I think that you run the risk of because I was down like George Floyd. I was working downtown at the time, and so my job definitely got attacked. All the areas around my job definitely got attacked. You got me fucked up. Like I don't work there no more, but you got me fucked up if you think another situation like that gonna go down, and I'm just gonna be standing there, possibly getting the threat of bodily harm is there. I think that it would just be worse. It would just be worse if something else happened on the tail end of this just happening when people haven't quite calmed down from that situation.
Yeah, I mean, I also think that I hear what you're saying about like alert is high, essentially, that people are going to react. But then you also have situations like, Breonna Taylor, which was in the midst of Black Lives Matter, but like one, I think, of the cops, or maybe two, are just now getting charged. Like the first charges that came through were for the bullets that didn't hit her. They were for the bullets that hit the wall. That might have injured the neighbors.
I think looking into one, like my own understanding of that particular case, it was too much. It wasn't as cut and dry as a lot of people make it out to be. And I think again, when emotions are running high, don't nobody care. Don't nobody care. Don't nobody care about the facts. We care about what happened, what we saw, what happened, what we feel like what happened, based on, especially if there's a specific story being portrayed in the media. But once you start getting facts, or you start more of the story start unraveling, I should say, versus what's facts, things can look potentially different. And then we gotta, for me, I go, well, I don't know what happened. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't hold the level of them. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't.
Yeah, no, I get that. I would also like to say that Black or white, we've always said fuck the police. Like at the end of the day. So when it comes to, because that's one of the things that people are saying was like, whoa, because they're Black, no one's talking about it. It's not that no one's talking about it.
Yeah, that's not true.
It's that things are being handled the way things should be handled to give justice to their family. I mean, at the end of the day, it had nothing to do with that, and it's about people abusing their power regardless of race. Go ahead.
Go. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, is it like more prevalent in white officers against Black? Like, yes, but at the end of the day, if you feel like once you put on that blue uniform, you are immune to the law, you're gonna behave in a way that is despicable.
Well, see, and I think so. What, like when Michelle's talking about, she said, I mean, they ain't do nothing after Rodney King to get more military equipment for the cops, and then they literally train police welfare tactics in the Middle East. That is because, and this goes into what I was saying last time I was here. You know what I'm saying, when we was talking about toxic femininity, is that why I don't believe in politics, because the police are just policy enforcers. They are not they're to protect and serve. And so if by policy, if policy states I can do this or do that to protect this particular policy, that's what I'm going to do. Like it's not a lot of what one would say red tape for them, is that because they're not here to actually protect and serve us. That's just not what that's a caveat of their job.
That's always been a myth for them. They've never really been a protect and serve type of deal, and they are not crime stoppers or
no,
preventers.
They're crime reactors.
They're not crime stoppers. And they're not crime preventers. They are crime reactors, and that's the issue. So you're like, oh, I think they're about to break into this person's house. Okay, well, call us after
they did it.
Yeah,
because they might not. It's
So Michelle said police were born after slavery ended. They stem from slave catcher system. And this is part of like the conversation we were supposed to have this week with generational trauma, like this is all.
I mean, the concept of police go further back than that, though. I mean, you have even the Magi in ancient Egypt protecting, like the concept of police or specific government enforcement goes back beyond slavery.
Oh yeah.
We could say slavery. We could say slavery remix it, but I don't know that for sure. I don't know that for sure because I know that while we have this romantic view of Africa and things that happen in Africa, it was a lot of bullshit going on too as well. You know what I'm saying? So the police, the Magi, the governments there, what the enforcers there weren't all, walking that straight and narrow and high and mighty as we typically portray things to be.
Facts. I would say one last thing, and we can move on. But I'd say aside from Rodney King and everyone revolting against the police, the other way we can at least minimally slow shit down is through life insurance. Imagine if every Black person had $500,000 that would have to get paid out every single time we got killed. Like niggas would stop. They'd start questioning it. They'd have to investigate every single thing.
Yeah, because insurance policies, insurance companies would be like, "Yo, hey, what are y'all doing?"
Exactly.
Stop it.
Because every single Black person that's getting killed now has to be investigated, and y'all got to stop that shit. That's just as good as Big Pharma.
So somebody. I don't know if you said that because my niece had texted me and I kind of missed it, but somebody said this on a podcast like a couple weeks ago that me and my homies, we got a group chat or whatever, and this conversation came up. And while I think there's some validity to it, I think that there's also some naivety to it, because we cannot say on the one hand that the system is against us, and then think that they just gonna create a system in which every Black person gets life insurance scot-free. That's one. And then two, it doesn't change the mindset of the people committing the crimes at all.
That's true.
Then that's that. Yeah, it just doesn't. It does.
It doesn't change their mindset. I definitely do believe though that a lot of what'll start happening is the process to become a police officer. The training that happens that when becoming police officers, they're going to close a lot of the loopholes, a lot of the gray areas. They're going to make black and white. They're going to say, no, policy A, B, C, D. Did you follow 1 through 4 in steps? If you did, you're good. And 1 through 4 are black and white. There is no officer's interpretation. There is no, but I thought this. It's none of that. It's, did you follow this? That's what insurance companies are going to start mandating that people do, if you know what I'm saying, in order to get stuff done. Or as budgets start being cut back, now police chiefs are going to be like, no, look, we have to hire more qualified people. So yeah, you're going to always have your sour people. You're going to always have those that slip through the cracks. But you just start to see that the quality of it starts to change a little bit. But I believe the police system has never been, again, we're asking for something from a system that's never been for us.
Yeah, that's what
that's
I just
never
can't.
been for us. Like,
I feel you, and so I also can't wrap my mind around it.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So it's kind of hard for me to ask something from someone who's never been in my side. It's never been on my side. Never. The Constitution was never on our side. Why do we ask for them to make things to be our way? It wasn't made for us. We would have to revamp the entire system. And now you're talking about thousands of years, hundreds of years worth of shit that needs to be revamped.
Right.
That, guess what? They're not gonna do.
And like a lot of times
because when you revamp it, you change the power struggle, and they're not changing the power struggle to revamp shit to make it easier for you.
And a lot of times people talk about the system as if we're just talking about like how things are handled legally.
Right. Yeah,
when if you pay attention to what the system is, if there's a system, right? If there's a system, it is far greater than just what they do legally. It's messy. Right. It's propaganda. It's religious. I can't buy it. I just it's hard for me to buy it. It's hard for me to it's like a utopian idea. I would love to see it. But I just can't. I get that for some people accepting that as a reality, if it is a reality, that may be hard to contend with.
I have to put this comment up because we don't see this ever. Michelle agreeing with Rich.
Yeah, man, we're asking. We're asking for something from a system that's never been on our side in the first place. They've never given a shit about what's happened with us. And guess what? When we had a system that was for us, that was by us, they bombed the shit out of it. When we had our own shit, when we were good by ourselves, we just need a little piece of land over here, and when we chilling, we don't need the rest of y'all. They bombed the shit out of it because we were doing too goddamn good.
You know what I call that, Michelle? Growth.
That's hilarious.
Hey, Michelle, sometimes I can be profound. I'm not always.
Sometimes.
Exactly.
Sometimes I can be.
Speaking of kind of controversial topics, I am on with two lovely, incredible, very responsible gun owners. But I think it is important to talk about the fact that we have had over 36 mass shootings in the last 29 days since 2023 has started. So we've had more mass shootings than we've had days of the year so far. So I think that while
I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna say something fucked up. I'm gonna say something fucked up. I'm just waiting. I'm waiting because I feel it. I feel the
I know, and I know I'm gonna get it from both of y'all. So how I feel is, sometimes in kindergarten, first grade, second grade, middle school, somebody acts up and the whole class can't go to recess, and it's not fair that the whole class can't go to recess, right? Because most of y'all are good. Most of y'all got your shit together.
I see where
the ones acting up
are
causing the other ones to have to get in trouble, and it fucking sucks because there are a lot of very responsible people, but something has to be done overall.
So
what are you asking? Hold up. Wait, Rich.
Yeah. What's the question?
What's the question?
That's not a question. I'm just saying something needs to be done. I'm not saying we need to be London and take all guns off the streets, but I think that we seriously need to actually be putting laws and whatever restrictions need to be put in place. Like everything we keep talking about that keeps getting shut down by the I don't know.
Here's my thing. Everything that we keep talking about, that we want shut down, that people want changed in gun laws, are things that no one's following any goddamn way. Like, they're not following it any goddamn way. There are laws. There's a law that says, hey, you cannot take a gun on school grounds. Do you think they give a fuck? No, they do not. But you do it anyway. There are two codes, 30-6, 30-7. One talks about concealed carry, one talks about open carry. And both of them, if you put a sign on your door in front of your business, guess what? That means that I cannot either open carry or concealed carry in your store, which means I'm not allowed to have a gun in your store. That's a federal law.
You know what I call that?
Do you think
restriction?
They give a shit?
That's a restriction.
It is.
It is a restriction. It's like this gun conversation. And I'm sorry, Rich. That it's a law though. There are laws, and every state has their own laws, and there are federal laws that have to be abided by. The criminals don't give a fuck. They don't.
It is not a law issue. It is a cultural issue. Niggas in America believe they should have guns. Period. You can take the Second Amendment and throw that bitch away. It will not change the fact that gun ownership is rooted in American history, American culture, and they're going to do what they want to do regardless. No one, the 6-year-old, no one said, I'm gonna sell my pistol to a 6-year-old. Not a single soul. Yeah. No drug addict, no drug dealer, no reasonable gun owner said, I'm gonna sell my gun to a 6-year-old.
Right.
Guess what? More gun shootings are done with pistols than they are with ARs. So what the hell is banning an AR going to do? Nothing. Guess what?
Who has it? Who has the AR-15? Who has
automatic weapons? Are already illegal. Guess what? They're already illegal.
Yeah.
This is an excitable topic.
Having an automatic weapon,
I know. I expected it to be exciting.
Weapon, banning automatic weapons. Guess what? They're already illegal. So that doesn't change anything.
So
you know the problem. You know the problem.
So the question is, how do we address the issue then?
Hold up.
The United States is. Go ahead.
I was just about to say, most people who feel like we do not have gun laws or restrictions or tighter restrictions do not own fucking guns. They don't. You don't know anything about it. First of all, I'm a DC resident. I applied for a DC gun license. Do you know I got denied because I got locked up for one day when I was 19 years old? I am about to be 35. Okay, like that. I am about to be 35, but you know what they said? I have a history of violence. Because a fight broke out and I threw a Pepsi bottle. So, like, don't talk about we don't have restrictions. Like, come on now. And then to say, Michelle, I love you. I just think that that's not really informed. And this is me talking shit. I don't like when people say what it's like in other countries. How many countries have you lived in? How many countries have you had guns in? How many countries have you experienced gun violence in? Because I can tell you right now, in Africa, right, in parts of Africa, gun violence is real high. I can tell you right
that shit is life.
I can tell you right, the only country that probably is not experiencing a whole lot of gun violence is England, and they got a lot of knife violence.
They do. They have swords and knives. Yeah.
A motherfucking England gets stabbed every day, but they not banning knives.
Yeah.
No. And knives, as far as they say, knives are more lethal.
Michelle said she's a gun owner.
I mean, that's cool. I'm just saying, as a general statement.
I'm just saying, in places like I've lived in Japan, right, where gun ownership in Japan is very low. Crime rate in Japan across the board is low, but that's because of their culture, not because of the restrictions on weapons. It is their culture to not be assholes to one another. It is their culture to not run around shooting shit up. Mm-hmm. But you know who doesn't give a fuck about all of that might come through there? The Yakuza. Do you think they give a fuck about Japan's restriction levels? No. Or the Triad. Do you think they give a shit? No. They don't give a shit. Everything that they do is already illegal. They don't give a fuck. Guess what? All the shit that people here want for us to change when it comes to the Second Amendment and owning guns, 90% of the shit is already illegal. They found a way around it.
So there's no solution.
I mean, it sucks.
According to both of y'all.
There is a solution, but no one wants to hear the answer to it. The solution is allow teachers to carry guns. Responsible teachers. The same way you allow the responsible cops to carry guns.
It's not just teachers. Mass shootings aren't just at schools. Mass shootings are in churches. Mass shootings are.
Then you tell businesses that they're not allowed to tell people that they can't bring. So then I would argue that it'd be easier, or there would be less, if you took down, for the people that follow rules, like I follow rules, right? If you take down the sign that says I can't bring my pistol, I'm going to bring my pistol in here. So guess what? The chances of mass shootings might lower, because I'm not going to walk into a place. I don't know how many people.
That's facts. As a parent,
rich teachers would end up shooting these kids. I mean, look. If I feel like nowadays, if I can give a gun to a cop, I can give a gun to a teacher. Because the same 19-year-old that graduated high school, went straight to the police academy, had no life experience whatsoever. He spent 10 weeks going to the police academy, and you gave him a gun and told him go out here and protect people or go do whatever. It take longer than that for teachers to get their bachelor's.
I see. I mean, like I feel Michelle. I feel
like if you give it to responsible teachers.
Yeah, I feel what Michelle was saying. I also think that there's a level of like, oh, this gun is legally mine, so I can't do dumb shit with it. Like I'm just keep it a buck. Like
it ties back to me.
I'm pretty honest with myself, and I have quote unquote what one would consider dark thoughts. So let's say a dark thought is, I can just go, you know what I'm saying? I can clap somebody at any time. But then I go, that's mine. I'm not getting away with murder on that. You know what I'm saying? Like
the gun's yours. Tie back to you. It's yours.
Yeah. So it's like it's. I think that you're onto something, and I think that I can also see where it would go left, because people with low impulse control suck.
But we say,
or having a bad fucking day.
But
sometimes,
but we already see. But my thing is, we've already seen what happens, and we're on the right side of it. Teachers don't have guns, and guess who's having bad days? It's not teachers. It's not teachers having bad days, because if a teacher had a bad day, it don't take a gun for a teacher to slap shit out of a kid.
Yeah,
right.
That's
so there you go. They just slap shit out of you, kid. If they have that bad of a day.
Versus slap. You know what I mean? Death versus slap.
But the people that we're having issues with aren't teachers. So I can't say, oh, we can't trust the teachers, because they're not the ones that we're having issues with. It's these other people, the students that used to go to this school, the boyfriend that used to do this, the student that goes here. So those are your issues.
There's a lot of facets to culture, so I wouldn't know exactly what a facet of culture Rich was speaking out, and I don't know what facet of culture you speak about when you ask the question, but I would say that I think that there's a lot of misinformation about guns. I think that there's a lot of, and I'm talking about in a way of like making them out to be bad, and I think also making them. There's a lot of stuff that tells people how to mishandle weapons, firearms. Well, weapons across the board, period, and specifically firearms. And so I think that goes into the culture. I think that the way we are so desensitized about life in general to when it comes to one another, like, sure, if y'all died, I would care. You know what I mean? But the neighbor that's been getting on my nerves, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that there's a certain level of disrespect that us as a culture has for each other, and just in general, that I don't even think disrespect. Yeah, it's just a lack of respect for life, or not even understanding what life is.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to answer both of Michelle's questions, right? The first one on my side of it. I'm in Texas, right? And so Texas is on the opposite spectrum of gun ownership. They don't give a fuck
of anybody else in the United States.
I swear to God.
Yo, somebody Sam out here.
I can go to the gun store right now. It'll take me 34 minutes to buy a new gun. 34 minutes, with 30 of the 4 minutes being me picking out a gun. I swear to God. But let me answer your question. The reason why I feel like if we're saying more guns might be an answer, because even as a criminal, as someone that might think wickedly, right? I still have a cautious thought of, I'm probably going to double think before I walk into an area that I don't know if there's guns or not. No one's walking into a police station, shooting up a police station, because they all have guns. But if I walk into an area where I know there's a high chance of them not having any guns, they're more like, I think I'm more likely to get away with it, right? And I've always believed that more violence solves an answer. The World War II, when you upped the level of your violence, it ended the war. So when the United States was like, fuck it, drop a bomb, and then wipe out an entire country, everyone sat back and was like, oh shit, that's a real level of violence, let us stop. So I've always felt like more guns, or not knowing who has a gun, I'm always more willing to be like, okay, fuck, I don't know who has a gun. He might have one. But the utility of guns is for me, outside of hunting, is protection, because guns are better than knives. So, but don't get the protection thing misconstrued, right? No one's fast enough to draw their gun if somebody's up on you with the intent to kill you, and without you knowing, you're dead. Like, there's nothing a gun's going to do about that, right? Even if I have my gun on me, if somebody walked up behind me, I'm not paying attention, and they shoot, I'm dead. But it's for that extra protection measure. That's what it's there for. It's so that if I might have a chance to save my life and or your life, I have the ability to do so. Why? Because guns can reach people at a further distance than a knife and a sword can. And since I don't have a crossbow, I can't use that. But because guns reach people at a further distance.
I'm just trying to imagine somebody breaking in my house and I'm just like, knife.
You see what I'm saying? Like, I can reach you from
we gonna struggle with a knife. It's gonna be a struggle or a fight with a knife, because they gonna feel like they can get around that joint.
But I'm not going into a knife fight. I have this beautiful little thing right here. I'm not going into a knife fight. So I'm going to reach out and I'm going to touch you from far away. So that way there's less risk on my end. We need to diversify how we protect ourselves.
I got knives and guns.
So here's my thing on that. Right? And this is just me. this is just me. When you're saying diversify how to protect yourself, I can tell you right now, when you get into a knife fight, there's nothing you can do if one person has a knife and you don't. You cannot stop them from stabbing you and or cutting you. There's
Even if
nothing.
you do have a knife,
if
they get you in a position where
their knife is longer than yours.
Fast,
they fast.
It's
a wrap. You gotta be damn, like, it don't even matter who you are. If I can get a knife, because the more I stab you, the more blood you lose. The weaker you get. That's just anatomy. So the more I'm stabbing you, the weaker you're getting at being able to protect yourself.
Yeah.
So, and the point of protecting yourself is to not be put in disadvantageous position.
Someone slows you down.
It does.
Like, also, like, killing them, though. Like, I feel like each stab is like a reminder of this is a person, but a quick gunshot to the head is like, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Wiped out.
But see, look, all of these things are not viable in a quick reaction, right?
No.
Throwing axes. I'm terrible at throwing axes.
Michelle is ready for the zombie apocalypse with her shit. Okay.
First off,
I'm just trying to keep a nigga out my house, away from my car.
You never throw your weapon. That's one thing. Never throw your weapon.
Right, because you're giving me and I'm a mess, so I'm giving you an ass.
Tasers are no good. Depending on somebody's resistance, tasers and pepper spray are no good.
Especially
as we can clearly, we've seen
type of training for
certain level training. Like, I've been through Mark 9 pepper spray. I'm going to be pissed off, but it's not going to stop me.
It's not going to stop me.
Yeah, it's not going to stop me. Stop me. It's like,
and then we do that when adrenaline is not rushed. We do that when there's no adrenaline going through your body.
Yeah, when there's no adrenaline. So imagine if there's actual adrenaline, your pepper spray is not stopping me. Your taser might cause a muscle cramp, but again, unless you're keeping that constant charge, the moment you release that charge, that's just done.
I feel like we just had like two whole episodes. So much more to talk about.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna pause it there.
The gun is the most efficient way to protect yourself. But now maybe if she's talking about more maybe non-lethal, so like maybe non-lethal shotguns, but maybe pellet guns or something like that. But to a big person, that don't mean shit either.
Buckshot.
Gotta know which points on the body to hit. That's what she said. But anyway, we are gonna segue into some lighter situations in general. But Beyonce this week was in the news. She accepted $24 million for a 90-minute performance in in Dubai. I said Saudi Arabia. This is her first time performing in the last 5 years.
90 minutes.
90 minutes.
Can I still walk as Beyonce for like a week?
I'm not gonna lie. 90 minutes for Beyonce is long as fuck. Beyonce's concerts aren't 90 goddamn minutes.
I mean, I've been to 2 or 3 Beyonce concerts at this point. I understand. I'm just saying 24. I'm there.
Yeah. Her lineup was great. But yes,
and I feel like people in Dubai just got money to throw away now. Like, if you got 24 million, brother, like, just put some over here a little bit, just a little bit.
I wouldn't say now.
I'll do.
Dubai has been like
I'll perform for 90 days.
Luxury type of. What'd you say?
I said I'll perform for 90 days for 24 million.
Facts.
You paying me 24 million.
But the reason why it's been in the news, other than it's her first time performing in 5 years, is the LGBTQ plus community is upset because the gay rights. Well, there are no gay rights in Dubai, and a lot of the Beehive is the LGBTQ community. So they felt like her message is about woman empowerment and gay rights, and for her to take the money to do performance, but for $24 million,
fuck y'all gays.
That's one. First off, the LGBTQ ain't paying nobody's rent over here. So guess what? I'm about to take this 24 million. Second of all, that shit only applies in America, because in countries like Dubai, they do not give a fuck. They do not care what you think or how upset or how we're gonna riot. Dubai doesn't give a fuck. Okay, they have what they have. It's their rules, their ways, and just like most of Americans, we feel like we should be able to force what we believe and how we run things on other people,
on other countries. That's a fact. That's a fact.
And on other countries, and it's not how they operate. But if I'm Beyonce, I take 24 million too. I can give a damn less about the Beehive. I can give a damn less about the whoever.
I think
24 minutes for 90 minutes.
I think people need to grow up. Is what I think. It has been blatantly clear that several stars, not even just Beyonce and Jay-Z, but I'm gonna keep it in that lane, is that they profit off of what's hot. So the whole Black Panther super militant shit, it was hot. It was money in it. Let me do it. I'm over here. I'm with the people. But it's come out that they vote Republican. So I don't know. You know what I'm saying? What are we? Or vote conservative? You know what I'm saying? Like that what they push, their political ideology isn't lining up. I don't know that for sure. I don't know these people, but I also don't care.
Right.
I don't care because I'm an adult with full spectrum of emotion and logic. I don't give a fuck about what Beyonce personally believes. Get your money.
Facts.
Not at all.
To Michelle's point, there's whole states who are anti-queer. So for us to be upset about something happening in Dubai where she
in a whole nother country,
but she'll still go to these states and perform.
And not to sound like an asshole, but they don't ask you if you're queer or not if you want to go to Dubai. All right, they don't. You just go there and just pretend like you're not queer and or gay. Like you can still get into the show. Like they're not going to stop you.
The crazy thing is, like, I've been to Bali, right? And Indonesia. Bali's pretty lax, but Indonesia as a whole is like they don't fuck around. It's a Muslim country, mostly, predominantly. Or I've been to Jamaica. You know what I'm saying? You know what they say about Jamaica. They really don't care. Mm-hmm. Like they don't care that, like they have laws, and if it came down, if it came down to it, or you was doing some weird shit, there would be a problem. But most places you're dealing with people, again, like most of them don't, like, yeah, you're a tourist, they don't really care. They don't really care unless you're doing something really like egregious, like you wilding. Nobody cares. Nobody had an issue that me and my girlfriend shared a room. No, like this wasn't a thing.
Because they're not going to come up there and ask you. They don't give a shit. They're going to say, oh, you two want a room? Okay, that's going to be $750 for the night. $750 for the next night.
Americans legit think we legit have first world problems where we think all of our problems are, and we hear about other places that have some negative view of what our problems are, and then we project that onto them as if that when we have no real experience of our own as to how those countries treat us day in and day out. We take experience from people who say they came from those countries, and I'm not saying that they're not valid, but they also anecdotal as well. You know what I'm saying? So
my life experience isn't the same as your life experience. No. We came from the same area, born in around the same time. Well, not from the same area, but you know what I mean.
Did you already take the break?
But anyways, speaking of the LGBTQ community, as of now, 2023, gay and bisexual men can now donate blood. So they just passed that they are now allowing gay and bisexual men to donate blood. And the reason being because of AIDS. So the fact that stigma was a law this long, and there's been blood shortages, and ain't nobody been like, you know what?
But
let's stop being fucking.
This whole thing is dumb. Yeah, let's stop being dumb. Because when you draw my blood, right? The blood don't say gay,
it's gay blood.
Queer,
no.
It don't say that.
It don't even say it's black blood.
Even if I'm a straight man, you still have to test my blood. You have to test to make sure it's good for somebody.
Yeah.
Why did we even do this in the first place? Why was this ever a thing in the first place, bro? Draw the man blood, test it like you would normally test it anyway, and use it. You test it any damn way.
There have been shortages and for a while, you know what I mean? Like, and it's like,
but what type of blood? What type of blood matters?
It does.
Not that it negates what they say. Yeah, not that it negates that. I was just thinking in my head, like, because it's always that's missing. Because I'm A, and they don't give a fuck. They be like, nigga, get your ass. We don't need that.
Right. Basically, what it would be is you would have to be a direct donor for someone. But yeah, for me, I'm O positive, and I'm a a universal donor, but not a universal.
Yeah.
champion.
I'm B positive. A lot of people are B positive. And guess what? You draw that shit, you test it any goddamn way. A lot of people are B positive.
I mean, I'm not saying there's a lot of people in the world. There are a lot of people who are.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I just felt like that was just that was to call something like that in the first place was really dumb. We don't want queer blood. First off, you don't know if he queer or not until he say something.
You don't even know that. You don't even know that until I literally am like, I'm gay. That like I'd have to announce it.
And is that even like proof? You know what I'm saying? Like we would have to take your word for it, but like, you know what I'm saying?
People lie about want to give blood to that.
Yeah, or not want to. Well, I can not want to do something else that they keeping gay people out of. So it's like, I mean, you know what? Go ahead and
secret society.
Yeah,
you know what? Like, and this is just my dark, sinister jokes. But why not like have a separate like queer bank, and then you just use the queer blood for queer people?
I'm dead.
That way you just keep it. It's that big of a deal. You're like, you know what? Look, who are our patients queer? Okay, we're gonna take the queer patient, and we're gonna have queer blood, and there you go, boom, that way.
And still accept the blood, right? Like either way.
Yeah.
It is.
Now there's still no blood shortage.
Somebody's gonna benefit from blood.
This one of them things that this is one of them things that I like. I want to give America more credit for. I kind of just don't feel like it was a hateful thing. I feel like they were just like, we'll get to it when we can, and it just took 50 million years. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we got more important shit to do.
You're being very positive because this is what's.
I just don't think they care that much to keep. I think that some states.
No, I think they did care because there was also an issue in the military. Don't ask, don't tell. Like they cared.
No. I'm not talking about when they enforce the law. I'm talking about lifting the law.
Oh yeah,
like how things have been progressing. I think they were just like, yeah, we just gonna get around to it.
There's so many fucking laws that like are irrelevant.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But speaking of people who can utilize some blood, this is probably like the worst segue, but Jay Leno recently got into a motorcycle accident in which he broke several bones between his collarbone and his leg. Months after recovering from being hospitalized from a fire. So like someone's trying to take this nigga out, and I feel like at his old ass age, he needs to sit down and just be Jay Leno at home. I'm not understanding.
I mean, I'm very anti motorcycles, right? That's just me. I believe if it's anything that
pro guns, but
motorcycle,
2 wheels, no.
Hold up. You live in
Texas.
In Texas.
Pro gun.
Cowboy boots, motorcycles.
We draw the line at motorcycles here? I thought we were going to be full-blown tropes.
Nah. I'm going to need whatever you in to have 4 wheels, 4 doors, or 4 walls on each side or something.
That's more dangerous than motorcycles nowadays. Them bitches just shut down in the middle of the fucking road.
Yeah, but I mean, me personally, like, I'm not about to get on the road where I'm not secure on either side and trust you niggas. Shit. Nah, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing that. And then not to mention the number of people the number of people that willingly go after people on motorcycles, right? Like, because I don't want you to cut and ride the white line or ride the yellow line, I'm gonna clip your bike. Like, damn the fact that a whole human's about to go flying off.
Texas thing? Is that a Texas thing?
Yeah, might be a Texas thing.
I don't feel like I've ever seen that happen here, where they're like they blatantly.
And I feel like there's a lot of irresponsible motorcycle riders.
Oh hell yeah!
You don't have on a helmet. You don't have on a helmet. You don't have on a jacket. You don't have on boots. You got on sandals, a tank top, and a beanie,
and somebody on the back.
Motorcyclists normally drive like they riding a bike, right? Like bicyclists, dead ass feel like they can just do whatever. They just can't go that fast. So it's like, all right, but like motorcyclists do the same bike shit, but be zoom. Son, you're gonna die. You're gonna like the likelihood of you dying is like all the way up here.
It's either that DC shit where they want to rev up and do wheelies in the middle of the road, and then ride it back and forth.
Biker Boys was the thing. Okay, Biker Boys was
And
a
then be
thing. Fast and
confused
Furious. Don't
when the
blame it
bike
on us.
fucking falls. See?
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Wow.
So me, if it was up to me, I'd take all them shits off the goddamn road.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
I really didn't know that was that you
Or-
were so
Or give you your own.
We don't need him on the streets.
Or give you your own like motorcycle. Like, you know how there's a bike lane? Your own motorcycle lane.
No. Don't say that. We live in DC. And
We don't
bike
need no more lanes.
Our thing, and they already take away lanes to give bikes lanes and causing more traffic. And we got one ways, and you can't turn on red no more. It's a lot happening here. Leave us alone.
Lots of traffic circles. Not a fan. Not a fan of traffic circles. Imagine me going around. Like, what is happening?
You will come here and be lost. I can't. Wait. I was going straight. This is now a double street.
Mm-mm.
This is a
When I come,
one-way
when I come there, taxi. When I come there, taxi.
Uber.
Or
I'm gonna get the me and Jamal gonna get on our scooters again. 1000%. Motor scooters.
Scooters are also scooterists are also horrible. And they you can only go 10 miles an hour on a fucking scooter, but they be doing some dumb shit. Okay, down here they do.
Facts. So, switching lanes. Shout out to Maya Rudolph, who is now the official spokesperson of M&M's, because there has been an outrage about the M&M characters and that the green M&M is too sexual. So they are pulling the like.
That's their problem.
Yes.
Not the M&M commercial that literally had like racist like overtone to it. Not that commercial.
No. No, the ones where they get like undressed, or in general, the green M&M just being like.
Does Cree Summer have an issue with it? Is the question. Because she from what I understand, she voices the green M&M.
Oh, does she? I didn't realize that.
Have y'all seen the M&M commercial?
I can't wait to meet her, by the way.
Huh?
I haven't seen the one you're talking about. I mean, I might have, but it's not
M&M
like...
dad. It's the orange M&M dad, him, the M&M wife, and daughter are sitting at the table, and the dad outright says, "I think there's a reason why we come in different bags, and it's a different colored M&M." I'm just gonna put that out there.
So here's the thing about the thing about the M&M commercials is that I've seen. So yes, the female M&M is always sexy. I think even just the way she's drawn is just in a typical like sexy way. Mm-hmm. But I've also seen the other M&Ms, the yellow one and the red one, do have like sexual undertones in their commercials and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I also think that like the yellow M&M, he is supposed to be like dad bod M&M. Like there's a lot of like tropey stuff. These things that came out. I think that people are bored.
Yeah,
that people are bored.
Yeah, and I think like cancel culture goes overboard and just overanalyze shit, and it's like. No, we're upset about this. And it's like, yeah, but as a millennial who grew up with that, it doesn't bother me, so I'm not understanding.
It was actually funny. M&M commercials. We used to look for the M&M commercials. We used to talk about the M&M commercials. You know what
I mean, yeah. I think one of the Super Bowl M&M commercials is probably one of the funniest ones.
The funniest. Yep. Yep.
Every time.
They did Mission Impossible. Like what
Christmas ones. I always like the Christmas ones with Santa.
The Christmas ones with Santa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think that people are just bored now, and
I don't think it's us as millennials. I think it's because a lot of people get us confused, right? There's a whole generation after us. Millennials aren't the last generation. There's fucking Gen Z behind us, and then
there's two.
So two other generations behind us. So stop blaming everything on millennials, people. Okay, it's not us. It's the niggas behind us.
It's Gen Z. Gen Z is the issue.
Them niggas behind us.
I mean, it did kind of start with us, but I will say a certain element of millennials. A certain element. I feel like I feel like it's the academics' fault.
Yeah,
I feel like it's the academics' fault. I feel like it's
boomers and zoomers. It's before and after us that are the issue.
She has a point though. There is some boomers that started this like started being upset and they passed it on to us, and because a lot of people that I went to school with in high school, they are the types that are just like they find everything wrong with everything. You know what I'm saying? We are even feeding into the culture of like even having a conversation about this thing in a certain type of ways, because on the internet, that's what you do. You critique things.
Right.
Postmodernism.
They got a problem with everything except for their haircut.
basically. And then it just, I think it trickles down to where Gen Z kids, I'm gonna say this. I have nieces and nephews who are Gen Zs, but to me, they don't have no substance. It's like, cool, dude. They all feel like that.
I want to be an influencer. That is literally every single like person is. I want to be an influencer.
Yeah, a lot of Gen Zers give frat bro and.
It wasn't last night. It was the night before. Izzy, we bought her. Obviously, she has her own phone, but she has like a little light camera stand.
Yeah.
And I sat there and just laughed as she made YouTube videos. That's all she wants to be a YouTuber. That's her life. She's 6. And what she wants to do with her life is be a YouTuber.
All they want to do is this right here. All that shit.
Snuggles and Julian, they're always like, it's the Juju and Snuggles show. They're not recording it, but this is them in their room pretending a show together.
Yeah.
So,
she's not putting it on YouTube, but she like puts record on her phone. And if you go through Izzy's phone, it's probably videos and photos of her.
Hi
and
guys,
her,
this is my channel.
Izzy's world.
Right, exactly.
Today with my mom.
Exactly.
If you've ever seen the video on my Facebook where we're making peanut butter jelly sandwiches, that was all Izzy's idea. All Izzy's idea.
So funny.
I don't think it's wrong with them wanting to do content creation and stuff like that. I think it is more so the mindset or the culture or the vapidness of like what it means to be an influencer.
I really think that's where a lot of us, at least I find myself doing it sometimes, we would be the ones that start to act like boomers when kids are like, I want to be content creators. Content creation is going to be the next big thing. It's where the world is moving to.
It is the thing.
I feel like
it is currently the big thing.
I'm saying it's
like we right now are content creators as we speak. Like,
but we want to own it or not.
Well, at least from time to time, I don't like we should embrace that and be like, yes, my son wants to do this. He wants to do that.
Yeah.
Let us embrace them and let us help them do that the right way. Because if you start now and you help guide them while they do it, then you won't have them doing shit like eating Tide Pods on fucking camera because they're trying to find something cool to do. But if we don't, then it's going to happen anyway, right? Like everything's starting to go digital. Even interviews, just normal job interviews, are done over Zoom. It's going to be some type of content creation.
Oh yeah, I had my job interview on Microsoft Teams with no cameras on. It was great. I had on a suit jacket, this little suit jacket behind me. I had it on, but we ain't turned the camera on. I was like, cool.
At-home jobs are going to become bigger because it's going to save companies a ton of money when it comes to real estate, like buying buildings and shit like that.
Eventually, right now there's such a push to get people inside.
Interviews are going to be cool, just like this, because I get to see what your house is like. I get to see you as a person, and boom, and I get to know if I want to hire you without actually meeting you in person.
My internet persona actually does not impact my real life at all.
I don't have an internet. I am who I am.
I guess that's it or whatever. Like I don't.
I don't have one.
When I meet people at BlurCon,
you say what?
When I meet people at BlurCon, I try to let them know that I'm not like who you see on here is not me in person, right?
What's the difference?
In person?
What's the difference?
There's not a difference. That's why I'm like,
there is a difference. Here, I'm more aggressive. I'm not as aggressive in person. I'm not.
Yeah, okay, I get what
you're
saying. So like, I get what you're saying because I used to do that. Like, I feel like I talk shit more on camera. Like, I'm jokes and talking shit, but like, I'm not. It's not so. You know what I'm saying?
Not,
so
snappy.
And I'm not quick. I'm not as quick.
Yeah, and also like, I don't know there's a way that we view ourselves, and then there's a way that people view us, and that's different for every person. I'm also not who you think I am in your head either. So leave it, please.
Absolutely.
No, don't get twisted. Some shit that you see is me. Like if I tell you, I think
it's gonna be a core. I'm
gonna tell you that in purpose.
Yeah,
but,
there's gonna be a core identity to you. I'm just saying that, like, you know what I'm saying? Like there is a level of like, okay, like before this, I was like, all right, I want to do, you know what I'm saying, shit talk Sunday or whatever. And 7:00, I'm sleepy. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, let me get myself revved up to get on camera. Which if I was upstairs in my bed, I would have my Switch in my hand playing Dreamlight Valley.
I feel like
watching that zombie chilling.
This is only true if you don't, as the person, if I don't make a distinct separation between my personal life and my internet persona. If I make people believe that my internet persona is me in real life, then they'll clash.
Or you created a character, like you literally created a character that is completely different from who you are. Then those two things will like have an impact.
Unless the person you create is like people dislike so much that they won't give a shit if that's not you in person. Like, for example, Charleston White, right? He says over and over again that his internet persona is not him in real life. He says shit for clickbait and for internet views and shit like that. But because who he is on camera, people really dislike. They don't give a shit if that's not.
They don't care.
In real life, that's him. They don't care. In real life, that's you, and that's who we gonna think you are in real life, right? But people like shit, y'all don't know him, but he's a YouTuber. His name is Ace Boogie, right? On camera, he's this wild ass fat guy.
I know
fucking random jokes. But off camera, his name is Francis, and he's legit. He's chill. He don't argue with nobody. How you doing? Nice to meet you. Blah blah blah. Right? Yeah. And so he's real cool. And so, but you don't know that until you meet that person.
I think that's also an issue with the Gen Zers, or I think people in general, but more so I've seen this in younger kids. They have no concept that what they're watching sometimes is fake, like completely fake or completely staged by big productions and this and that. Like you thinking this one YouTuber sitting, this one kid YouTube, this kid is YouTubing. You thinking he's really carrying the camera around, really setting up, you don't have any concept of why the lighting looks different in your room versus his room. You know what I'm saying? Because they have production lights. They have like HD 4K cameras. They have sometimes not even who they are portraying themselves to be. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't talk like, hey guys, my name is Brittany and I'm gonna do this. I don't talk like that for real.
But Brittany does.
You said it. I didn't. I want you to go.
It's my motherfucking name
to say your name.
But if you other motherfuckers say my name, I will show up at your house.
You show up at my house. I ain't letting you in though. You're gonna have to trek up all them stairs just to be
I got a gun.
out of breath and standing there. But anywho,
people have the same problem. I have to explain to my folks that folks just do things to get them out.
No, there's definitely, and it's not old. It's everyone. If you're not consciously able to understand that that's what that is. And to speak to Rich's point before we move on, I think it is important to kind of like, for the creative factor, allow your children to do things like that and to encourage it. I just would, have a backup plan. Like being a content creator, that's a slow grind too. Like it's not an easy, quick, rich.
Oh yeah, that's with everything. You want to
just want to make videos for your own creative, expression, and if it happens to go viral, that's beautiful. But in the meantime, let's do this on the weekends. And what else What
I think people should do is, you have your mainstream whatever that you do, but create a bunch of side shit, right?
Yeah.
And even if it, say a bunch of side creative shit and it brings in, it only brings me like, $1,000 a month. Create 8 of them bitches. And there you go. Now you have $8,000 that comes in extra a month, right? You know what I'm saying? And just live normal and just free yourself up from a bunch of grinding. But I tell my son all the time, that baseball, it takes one injury in baseball for you not to do it. Like it takes
you gotta grind regardless though. You gotta grind it out regardless though. Because I have a YouTube and it was fine because I was like, I'm just gonna do it. If people watch my videos, like I'm not gonna be holding on to the metrics, none of that, which is fine. But when I found myself having to research for 20 hours and then edit for 50 hours after that. And it stopped feeling good. You know what I'm saying? Because I was putting so much into it and was literally like, yes, it feels good to be putting my art on my thing out here, but like also, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm tired and I'm
I feel
not
like when
paid.
it stop when whatever you're doing stops feeling good,
it's all right.
I don't want to do it no more. I don't want to do it no more.
Break. All right, so there are still a couple more stories, and I don't want to just be out here talking. Clearly, we've missed each other. We've gone a whole week without doing a podcast, and we out here rapping. You miss me. Fuck you. So, Auntie Nia has been spotted out since her, very public breakup. Nia Long.
Okay.
She's been spotted out with Omarion and Terrence J. Howard, so she's just been out here living her best life outside.
Nia Long is 55. We don't give a shit about what Nia Long doing.
Yeah, I kind of don't. Also, like just because she out with these people, do she got to be fucking them?
No, but it's just like after something so public, like the man you've been engaged to or with for 12 years is out here publicly fucking, someone else's wife. Like that shit's embarrassing.
First off, he wasn't publicly doing anything.
You're right. It was publicly released. Exactly.
Yeah.
Why did they do that?
It was publicly released because the Celtics wanted to fire him, and they needed a reason to. Because they could have kept it in house, they didn't want to. The end.
Brittany, that's your you're making a face there.
I mean, no, you're right. That's basically what it is. They could have kept it in. They keep a lot of shit in house, not just Celtics, just everybody. So,
I mean, like superstars are doing bullshit every day, all day that they covering up all the time.
Yeah.
And so
two consenting adults that you chose to release.
Exactly.
I also don't think cheating is that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Like yes, like personally, it hurts. Whoa. You can. I don't. No. Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying first, because personally, sure. Like interpersonally, sure. But like to drag, he cheated. Like how big it was.
Like not publicly. It's not.
Yeah. Publicly, I don't care. Like I don't. Oh my God, he's the worst.
Infidelity
man
between you and your partner. Yeah, that's an issue in your relationship.
Yeah,
it shouldn't be publicly scrutinized.
So, do you think that it should not affect whether you get a job, whether you hold certain positions?
No.
So if Obama was cheating on Michelle, y'all wouldn't want him removed from office.
First of all, I don't give a fuck about Obama or Michelle. Like, and I don't mean that in a way like I don't like them. I just don't. I don't know them. I don't know them.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I don't think your personal indiscretions should stop you from.
And I personally think that
especially if you're good at your job.
I think that celebrities have open relationships or cheat on each other all the time. And I think
there's a lot of space there. Like
you are basically a god on earth. You are a god on earth. And whenever you touch a stage, there's 50 million people screaming. There's no way in hell. It makes sense to me logically to be like, I'm only gonna have sex or deal with one person for the rest of my life when I have literally the world at my fingertips. Mm-hmm. That does not make sense to how humans function. So I'm just sorry. So I feel like they have a lot of times they have contracts, NDA, whatever stuff. A lot of different situations happening. I just think that when it gets leaked,
yeah,
they didn't have to leak that stuff. They did it on purpose.
Well, speaking of two consenting adults, TJ Holmes and Amy Robach were fired from Good Morning America for having their relationship, whatever.
What was wrong with their relationship?
Just the scandal behind it. Yeah, they were both married, but they were both divorced, and they started dating each other. I think I don't think they were completely divorced. But either way, they started dating each other publicly, and then it went into work, and they got
But Good Morning America is good old white Christian shit, and you know how they like they good old white Christians.
I can't bring myself to be that involved in anybody's relationship, except my own relationship is a lot of work.
Yeah,
and cool is cool to like like be able to talk to y'all and say, hey, this is going on, you know what I'm saying? And y'all say, I got this going on, whatever. But like on a big scale, I'm not, it doesn't move the needle in my life. Like I'm not stressing about whether Rich and Brittany are staying together in and out. It might fuck me up if y'all split, or Brittany and Jamal. I mean, it might fuck me up if y'all split a little bit, but like my life is going to go on because I got my own shit and I love y'all. Like
be careful about what you do and who she is. But for the most part, like me, like it is what it is, bro. Like
he looks over.
Be what it's gonna be.
Kind of nice.
Because we know the truth, right? Like I can't. Like Brittany tells me all the time. She's like, I already told her. Like if you cannot ask my best friend about me. Like you can't ask my best friend Brian about me because he's gonna lie to you, 1,000%. So she knows that. She's like, cool. Not gonna ask Brian. I already know because he's gonna lie. Mm-hmm. And I told his wife the same thing. Don't ask me. You do better not asking because I'm not going to tell you the truth anyway.
Big facts. That was an issue
because of where the loyalty lies. My loyalty is with him, not with you.
I like you, but
exactly.
I got to go home with this motherfucker.
She said she was with me last night. We were together. What you mean we were together?
Because she's gonna be upset. Because she's gonna be like, where was Brian last night? Hold on. Hey, bro, where was you at last night? With me? Hey, this nigga was at the house, blood. He was with me. Matter of fact, I don't even have to call him. He was with me because we went to the store and got some chips. And I'm gonna make up a whole thing. And she's like, that's nowhere near what he said. I'm like, oh, well, whatever he said is true.
Exactly.
I'll be tripping sometimes. I'll be like, I'll be tripping sometimes.
Oh, you said Brian? I thought. No, right before he got there.
I thought you were talking about. Yeah. See, so don't ask me.
That's hilarious. All right, so a couple more stories, right? Complex named 21 Savage as the best rapper of 2022.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's
maybe
based
like
off of his influence, his flow, and his growth.
I don't even know 21 Savage music in 2022.
I can't tell you
Drake
21
is the album
songs.
of Drake. That was
21 Savage.
Oh yeah, 21.
I can't tell you any songs from 21 Savage. Is that not a Drake song?
It's a joint album
collaboration,
and which they technically should have did years ago when both of them were at their hottest. If I'm being honest,
yeah, because Drake hasn't put out anything this year of interest to me. Every single thing I've heard, I'm like, yeah, nah.
What was that album that had Hermes Lake?
I'm not gonna lie to you.
That was the last Scorpion. I think I didn't even listen to the whole thing. And I used to be a Drake fan. Like that was my dude. Degrassi, all that.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Drake has never put out anything that I've been like, oh my god, this shit is fire. Never. I mean,
Drake make
not
music
a single album.
So yeah, I was
like, he's not making music. Never put out anything.
It's not
Drake has never put out anything. Yeah. So
21
Savage also I've never really listened to either.
People say that it should be JID. People say it's J. Cole.
I definitely would go more J. Cole.
But why though? Like I could say J. Cole years ago. I could say I
what is it based off of?
What is it? Yeah, what's the criteria? Because if we talk about like if it's about who's hot, no. And not because I like them, but I would put somebody like what's the little dude that's always dancing? I like his music sometimes. He make rap music.
Lil Nas X?
No. Hold on.
Oh, stop.
Not Lil Nas X. He was on Bad and Bougie.
Lil Yachty?
Yeah,
no, that's not Yachty. It's not Yachty.
Domingos?
No,
Domingos?
Yeah.
It's the other one that's not Lil Yachty.
My ears are dead. Push me to the edge.
Yeah.
I would pick him.
It's not coming to me. Why is that not coming to me?
His name is escaping.
You're right. But what is that man's name?
You go think about it.
I'm trying to Google like
all my friends are dead. Push me to the edge.
Lil Uzi.
Uzi. Yeah, like I would choose him simply because what the kids are gravitating toward, not necessarily they're not. I don't know. I feel like they rate music based on how our millennials like music, which is fine, but that's not the taste.
That's
now.
That's
not the taste now.
Right now. Well, speaking of rappers that people are checking for, NBA YoungBoy, who I might know a song if you played it, but I have no clue. But he is expecting his 11th and 12th child this year at the age of 23. So,
and he went. Oh no, that's Blueface. Never mind. I get him and NBA YoungBoy mixed up.
Oh yeah, no, that's Blueface. NBA
YoungBoy got like a shit turd mark right there on his head somewhere.
That's little Uzi Vert.
Uzi Vert, doesn't Uzi Vert have the like diamond?
Don't he got the little?
It's like a diamond.
No, but I'm saying NBA YoungBoy, he got like either like he got hit in his head or it was a birthmark or something. He got like a cut. Yeah, Uzi just got like a diamond or something,
like implanted.
Yeah.
But anyways,
rich beyond my years. You don't know what to do with your money.
We talk a lot about like Nick Cannon and his number of kids, but at 23, at least Nick Cannon got some like money behind him. Yeah, that's NBA YoungBoy. He got some money behind him. At 23, his NBA YoungBoy's net worth is $4 million. 12 kids ain't gonna get you. You about to be broke, my nigga. Like if you don't keep
get you a good lawyer and say, hey, I can only pay you about $1,200 a month in child support. Shit, you keep your money then.
I think that's sexually irresponsible for both of them, regardless of how much money you have.
Absolutely.
Why? Because sure, Nick, people like, oh, he can afford it, but like, can you? Because parenting, right? It's like, no matter how much money you have, chefs.
Like Nick Cannon was recently hospitalized for a decent because of his health issues.
He got lupus, right?
Yeah.
You about to leave 12 kids without a dad.
Yeah.
And because you got money or whatever, you think that's going to take care of it. And it's just, as a kid who grew up with my father around, like, not really emotionally. It's like, nah, son, that's not really going to do it. Sure, money helps make sure that I don't have to worry about certain things, but like, come on now, there's an emotional
Rich is about to disagree. I hear it all in his breath.
That's fine. He's a man.
Oh.
I don't expect it.
I will say that this does like
I'm not
Tuesday's episode is about, but yeah.
I'm not going to completely disagree, right? I do believe that children definitely need their father in their lives for more than just money. But I feel like y'all are undermining the importance of money in raising children.
No,
because I feel like I just feel like that's what y'all are undermining. You're like, oh yeah, sure he has money, but like, well, no, ain't no sure.
Their mothers also have money. Like, it's not like he's impregnating.
Literally,
they are also
the only one that he's impregnated is Mariah Carey. That's the only one that he did.
Yeah, of her status. But I'm saying it's not like they're struggling. These women aren't coming off the streets finding Nick Cannon and profiting off of him. They have their own they have their own shit in their bank account. It's not like they need him for his money.
I'm saying
you need him to get to that level. There's levels to this shit, and they're down here, he's up here, and he.
But you can have a perfectly healthy, happy.
I think that
without being at that level too.
One thing I liked about Kevin Samuels is he used to say this all the time. He said, when you die, when you on your deathbed, what's going to matter? Like, what's going to matter is not how much money you made. It's not the business connection. You're not going to be thinking about your business when you're dying. You're going to be
because you're dying. Yeah, at that point, absolutely. The point of that, when I'm in the middle of the shit,
it's really prioritize it's saying what's important though. It's saying what's important, and it's not to say that money is not important. It's to say that when you are dying, you literally are not thinking about the money you could spend or you could have spent. You're thinking about how many chances you missed. How many opportunities. I saw this movie. I don't want to spoil it, so I'm not going to speak too much about what the movie was, but a parent died, another parent stayed alive, and I've seen this happen where my niece, her father died when she was younger. She resented her mother because her father died. Damn near. I mean, there was some other stuff that went into that, but like, my nieces never have to really struggle. But you know what she misses or cries about still to this day, and she's 23 years old and he died when she was like 3. Her father not been there. Right. It's
not to.
I'm not undermining money. I'm just saying that.
I'm just saying, I feel like that only the people that speak for that are people that come from the privileged area to say money's not that important. Those are the only people that I feel like that's a privileged area to speak from. Because when you come from a privileged area like where I came from, that is a big issue. Where it's like, oh, my dad died. Like, well, yeah, he died, and I wish he was around. But at the end of the day, like, I still have, like, we got lights that needs to be paid, bro. Like, we get ready to get evicted.
I mean, you preaching to the choir.
And if he had died with some money, like, I'd have felt a little bit better. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
my aunt just died, who was like a big staple in my family in 2021, like huge. Like Brittany, you know how like pivotal my aunt was in my family. We don't know exactly, like, we know what cemetery she's buried in, we know what area of the cemetery, but we don't have a headstone. They didn't have a headstone. They lost to her apartment. So much shit has happened. Like, I'm pretty sure we got similar backgrounds. Like, I was raised in the hood. It's not that, sure, I got money now. I make a lot of money now, or have been building my wealth or finances over years, but I didn't come from that. Sure, having money to bury my grandfather and whoever else would have been great and less of a stress. But what I'm saying is those two things go hand in hand, and they're not separate. You cannot have 12 kids and think that because you have money that is satisfactory to that will just meet all their needs. That's the point that I made. Yeah. That's the point that I made.
I would also like to point out that Michelle's view of men are more than what they make, where yes, that is true. That's from a woman's point of view. Most men we are status people, right? And which is inherently built in by what we're making. Most men compete with one another in their status levels. And money is a huge part of that. But I believe like
female gaze though too. That's a female gaze thing.
But that I feel like when she says men are more than just money, that's only from a woman's point of view. It really is. It's really just from a woman's point of view. If you ask another man about another man, the first thing he brings up is, I mean, well, shit, what kind of job the nigga got? Like, how much money he got? Like, oh shit, he drive a Lambo? Shit, I got a Ferrari truck. Like, we're competing with one another in status.
Yeah, and I get that's what point of view, but that has like little to nothing to do with raising your child.
And we can make an argument for that feeds into the toxic masculinity aspect of things because it's reducing you to an object.
Yeah, that's from a woman's point of view.
No, listen to what I'm saying though.
How you say no and you're a woman?
Listen to what I'm saying.
Nigga.
Listen to what I'm saying.
So yes, it's her point of view, but it's not. It doesn't invalidate the fucking point of view.
I don't date men, so I have no vested interest in you.
I never said it was invalidated. I never said it was invalidated. I said that's just from your point of view.
Right, but to say that it is a woman's point of view is also being dismissive of the fact that, like, it is. If we could say that there's more important things than status and money, which most of that is accumulated for female gaze, right? It is for females. It is for female. Like, this is. I know this because I do it myself as somebody who is more masculine presenting, and I date women. It's a something I had to get over. We look at each other for status. That is not good. We are people first. We have character. True. That is actually more important than what status and things that I can.
There's people with status that are absolute shit.
I'm not saying that we should not be people first. I'm just telling you where we are in life. Men now in life are more status people. And the fact that you say men are more than just
over anything else.
But
so that means
because I'm not over anything else, but my first job as a man is to provide. That's my first job. That's my number one thing over anything else that I do is to provide. How do I do that? I have to have a high level of status or money. That's my first goal.
So provide. Provide. Yeah, this is a mistake a lot of the manosphere content does. Provide is a word. It is a verb, and there's a noun after that. There are many nouns after that. You can provide nurturing. You can provide money. You can provide food. Security. You can provide security. You can and even in those things, there are layers and levels to what those things look like day in and day out. So like we can keep playing this game, but and you can deduce it to that's how women see things. Fine. We're not saying that that's not how women see things. We actually just saying it's a flaw that y'all think this way.
Yeah.
Just the same way as I would say it's a flaw for women to look at each other and say that when we do the thing, when we look at each other and say that the beauty is the thing of value, is the status symbol.
Mm-hmm.
Listen. I ain't never felt secure a day in my fucking life, whether I had money or not. So we don't gotta play that game. I got money now. And I still don't feel secure. So it ain't about being broke.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Jamal, as your wife,
I feel like
you've been broke.
I feel like most people,
you've been broke, and it did not change my security in our situation.
Right.
Like, and that's me speaking to my husband who asked that question.
But most people feel better when they're not broke in their situation than they would if they felt broke, if they were broke in their situation.
Yeah. Are you sure?
I can only speak from one side because I've been broke most of my life. So I can only speak from the side of being broke. I would feel better if I was not broke.
You can speak from your side of being broke. You can't say what most people would feel because I don't feel
most people that I've met from my side, that I can only speak from the people that I've met from my side, where we would feel better if we weren't broke. Like that's just what we would have. That's how we would have felt.
We would feel what better? So like we gonna get. We could call it me pedantic. We could call it nitpicky. But words mean things, and context is king. What are we saying? What are we feeling better about? What are we feeling better? Like, sure, when I got my first $3,000 paycheck or whatever, I felt great. I felt amazing. I went shopping, but that high lasted 2 minutes.
Before I'm now upset that I didn't spend decent amount of that money, and now I'm like, all right. But
but not because you're broke again.
The love, the happiness that I feel within my relationship, regardless of if we have money or not, that doesn't change. It doesn't change. The ability to go on a date and enjoy each other is great. But if we in the house, we in the house. Like
in the crib.
It still feels good when we broke and when we have money. I mean, like shit's still working over here.
I tend to think this is one of the biggest problems that men and women have, though.
Being broke in a relationship and not having the ability to take you out, and then I still find a way to still make you happy. You're like, yeah, that's cool. Like you'll tolerate it because I'm trying. But if we weren't broke, like we wouldn't have half as many issues because I'm not. We wouldn't unless I'm just an absolute asshole. But if I'm the same person, an asshole with money, you tolerate more than an asshole without money. You tolerate an asshole with money more.
Do you date women? How much experience do you have with women? That's not true. That is not true.
What?
That's not true.
Yo, all right. Because I feel like
women are you dating?
Not to be honest.
I've dated a lot of
women.
I've dated a lot of them.
Hey, I'm looking to my left. But I'm looking to my left now. But we can go down this rabbit hole.
We can. I've dated a lot of them.
Women will definitely date an asshole with money before they date an asshole without money.
I think it depends on where you catch them in their journey. And
That's
I'll
true.
just leave it at that.
That's true.
I think that this is one of the biggest problems that men and women have is because y'all view us through your own perception of us, which is not real because you're not a woman, so you don't really know how we think and operate. And the same goes for women with men. The same goes for women.
Women date broke men a lot. That's no shit. Women date broke men. Men date broke women. But if you have
women who actually Actually, women don't have to pick though. That is, and that's where you are getting it fucked up. You never been a woman because I don't have to pick. Me, even as a lesbian woman, can go outside and get a man, get 12 of them right now, no problem, and have them offering me shit right now. I don't have to pick. I don't have to.
Yeah,
and so because I don't have
those
to
beta
pick,
niggas.
I'm picking based off of more than just.
You don't have to pick a beta nigga. Yeah. The beta niggas are the ones that you can just pick up off the street.
We straw manning, right? A little bit. Because if what I'm saying is I don't have to pick, I don't have to choose between an asshole who has money and a great guy who doesn't, because I can have them both. I can play the asshole who has money. I don't like him, but he gonna buy all my shit. And I can date this guy over here that's great, because that's typically what happens. It's not about putting up with. And I'm not saying that it's a good thing. What I'm saying is the reality of it is we don't have to pick. It's not a choice that has to be made. And women generally are not picking, quote unquote. It might look like putting up with a dude that got money, but it's never that simple.
Yeah,
I'm giving you the game. I'm not speaking up. I'm not taking up for women. I'm literally giving you game.
Facts. No, that's facts.
I think it's game on two different levels and on two different fields. I would say that.
That's fine.
Yeah. Facts. Yeah. I agree, but guys.
But that's for February. February is definitely going to be.
Yeah, I was going to say, before we go too far into it, I think, February next month, and I'll be releasing that. Well, shit, I got like 2 days. I'll be releasing that calendar soon. But next month, we'll be talking a lot about relationships, different aspects of relationships. This upcoming Tuesday, we will be talking about, on the 31st, the last day of January, we will be talking about absentee parents in the Black community. So a little bit of what we touched on today and go into more depth on Tuesday. But yeah, so until then, guys, make sure you like and subscribe and follow us on Patreon and YouTube and Twitter and TikTok and Facebook and Instagram and all of those places. Unapologetically Black Podcast or UNAB Podcast on all of those platforms. Check us out. Make sure you guys check out Patreon for more exclusive content like Anime Court, which I think the next episode is Dub versus Sub that you guys are coming up with. I have exclusive interviews on there. And we'll be coming out with more content. I'm going to pressure Chae into making time for me for some Patreon.
I would like to say to our subscribers of the Patreon, though, please bear with us. Anime Court is something new to all of us. It is something that we are trying to create while trying to also give content. So if we miss a week or two, please bear with us. We are trying to get more content out there, but we just want to make sure that it's good content. I don't like putting out content for the sake of putting out content. I want to put out something that you guys are going to like, enjoy, and we're also trying to make it to where it's more interactive between of us. So we're still trying to brainstorm to get stuff done. So please give us a little bit of time. Don't kill us too much. It's coming. Trust me, we're not going to hold you. It's coming, but we just got to figure it out a little bit more.
Absolutely. But until next time, guys, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay unapologetically Black. Have a good night.
Gang.